Everything you need to know about a Dodge Durango Hellcat. Yes, you heard me right, not just a Dodge Durango, but a Dodge Durango Hellcat, which means underneath the hood of this beast is a 6.2 liter supercharged V8 engine with over 700 horsepower. What the heck is that doing in an SUV, you might be asking? Well, the history of the Durango goes like this. There have been 3 generations of the Dodge Durango. The first one came out in 1998 and was actually just an SUV version of the Dodge Dakota. So it was Dodge's mid-size pickup truck, and they decided to make an SUV version of it. Shared the same grille, same hood, same quarter panels, same front seat. It was just the SUV version of the Dakota. In 2003, they repeated the same format. The second generation Dodge Durango was actually a Ram 1500 with an SUV backing on it. It shared the same grille as the Ram 1500, the same quarter panels, and again, the same front seat. But in 2010, they came out with this, the Dodge Durango third generation, which actually shares the same platform with the Jeep Grand Cherokee. This is Dodge's mid-size SUV that, yes, has 3 rows. And if there's anything that Dodge has kept consistent over the last 15 years is you don't need to reinvent the wheel. You don't need to make a new product to make it exciting. Sometimes all you got to do is just pop in a bigger engine and add some more performance. Dodge has already proven this with the Dodge Challenger. In 2008, they re-released a retro-inspired Dodge Challenger, which stayed in production all the way until 2023. The only thing that really changed was they kept adding horsepower and performance and body styling packages, and they just got more and more popular over the year. They then did the exact same thing with the Dodge Charger. The Dodge Charger ran from 2011 to 2023, basically unchanged, and the last Mopar performance vehicle still left over in the Dodge portfolio is, yes, the Durango. The 2025 model year is going to be the last model year of the Dodge Durango as we know it. But before we say goodbye to this beautiful piece of Mopar, muscle car forever, we've got a version with a supercharged V8 engine in it. That's right. This is a family SUV with supercar-like performance and can be available for you for only a fraction of the cost of a supercar.
I'm Jeff Batchelor, and I love cars. I love the look, I love the design, and I love the history, brand stories, marketing strategy, and automotive trends. I love engineering, types of propulsion, engine specs, drivetrain, and performance, and I love the interiors, layouts, smell, and the gizmos and gadgets and bells and whistles. But I don't only love cars, I also sell them. If you love this content and want to chat about a purchase, text me at 416-523-6585. Now back to the video.
All right, so you've heard me mention performance a lot when talking about this Dodge Durango Hellcat. So let's review the specs. Under the hood is a 6.2 liter V8 engine with, yes, a supercharger. It puts out over 717 horsepower with 645 feet-pound of torque. This does 0 to 60 in only 3.4 seconds, which is actually quicker than my Audi R8 with the Lamborghini V10 in it. This Dodge Durango Hellcat also will do a 1/4 mile in just over 11 seconds. And if that wasn't enough performance for you, this thing, even weighing over 5,500 pounds, can tow 8,700 pounds, making it one of the most capable 3-row SUVs you can find anywhere. All right, now as I filmed this video in 2024, the Dodge portfolio is very limited. There is only the compact SUV Dodge Hornet and the Dodge Durango left over. There's no more Charger, there's no more Challenger, and in the future, there's some other really exciting models to come. But this Dodge Durango has a lot of different trim levels, starting from the basic SXT, which is like your rental vehicle spec Dodge Durango, up to the GT, RT, SRT, and finally the Hellcat variant. Now the biggest difference between all these models is bigger engines. In 2018, when the Dodge Durango came out in an SRT version, it was the most powerful three-row SUV in North America. 500 horsepower on a 7-passenger SUV. And then everybody else wised up that people want capacity and performance. So in 2021, Dodge came out with this. They slapped the Hellcat engine inside the Dodge Durango, which gives you Ferrari-like performance, enough seats like a minivan, and even towing capacity greater than a GMC 1500. Now, depending who you ask, this could be categorized as a mid-size or a large SUV. I like to think that anything with 3-row categorizes as a large SUV, not full-size. The competitors in this field are things like the Ford Explorer, Toyota Highlander, Kia Telluride. But let's be honest, has anyone ever dreamed about driving a Telluride? As a little boy, did you have a poster of a Ford Explorer on your wall? Heck no. But you probably had for a Durango. So Durango stands alone in its class to not only be an SUV, but a really freaking cool SUV. Now, probably one of the greatest things about these Dodge Durangos is their exterior styling. Nobody wants to drive a boring SUV. A Dodge Durango has muscular haunches, looks like it's flexing at you as it drives down the road. And in 2021, they did a full update on this vehicle, giving it brand new LED headlights with these signature LED whiskers. I love how that looks. Plus, you get this mail slot front grille similar to what you'd see on a Challenger or a Charger. You get this beautiful body kit with a big front lip and side skirts. And what stands out the most is this giant air intake on the hood. Now, as we move along the side of this Dodge Durango Hellcat, you can see it's got slightly larger fender flares than your typical Durango, and that's to house the super wide wheels found on the SRT and the Hellcat. 295 wheels on a family SUV. Around back, you see this signature Dodge LED racetrack signature taillight. They had this on the Charger, and they've also got something similar on the Challenger. It reminds me of the movie Tron. It's been ahead of its game for years and is unmistakably a Dodge vehicle. When this thing passes you and you see those taillights, you know that you just got dusted by a Dodge. And down below, you can see these enormous tailpipes. This SUV sounds like nothing else you've ever heard. And tucked away behind this plastic cover is the hitch, where you can strap on a trailer and take your race car to the track with your race car SUV. Now, the beauty of this Dodge Durango Hellcat does not end at the exterior. Now, if you're going to be spending this much money on a Dodge, you're going to want it to feel extra special, and Dodge has certainly done a fantastic job with that. From the deep bolstered Mopar racing seats made out of red Laguna leather with the SRT embossed in the seat back, every element of this vehicle stands out. You have a great leather wrapped dash that spans the entire width of the vehicle. Below that, you see forged carbon accents, and again, another red leather trim piece that goes from one side of the vehicle all the way to the other side. Now, everything in this Dodge Durango screams performance. The steering wheel is a flat bottom steering wheel with really thick bolsters, the SRT script right in the middle of the steering wheel, as well as paddle shifters. The steering is very heavy, which I love having in a vehicle with this much power. And I also love the way the gauges are framed. The infotainment screen is tilted towards the driver. Now, sitting in the cockpit of this Dodge Durango Hellcat instantly feels like you're in a race car. Bright, bold red gauges, a speedometer going all the way up to 320 kilometers an hour. A center place tachometer, so you can see exactly how many RPMs you're pushing and exactly when to shift. You can go into the settings and actually have the screen flash at you to let you know when to change gears if you're shifting in manual mode. And what I like most is in the information cluster, there's actually a performance page listed here. It'll show you your top speed. It'll show you your 0 to 60 mile an hour time, your 0 to 100 mile an hour time, your reaction time for 20 meters, 200 meters, 400 meters, your braking distance. I mean, what other vehicle shows you G-forces, track times, 0 to 60 times if it's not trying to challenge you to push the limits of it? They've also been brought up to the times as well. We have a large 10-inch Uconnect 5 infotainment screen found vastly throughout the Stellantis lineup. Very, very, very easy to operate. Your media page does all your music. This Dodge Durango Hellcat has a 17-speaker Harman Kardon high-performance stereo. Your comfort page allows you to adjust the heated and cooled seats, the climate in the front and the rear. Your navigation page is powered by TomTom and updates itself automatically, and your phone can pair wirelessly both Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Another nice feature is this home page, which is fully customizable. You can have as much or as little information displayed on the home page as you choose. And over here in the SRT page, you can go directly to your performance pages where you can see all those track times and racing information. You can see all your different performance gauges from coolant temp to air fuel ratios, your dynamic history page showing you exactly how much power, torque, and RPM you've been using, your G-force, as well as your vehicle dynamics. Also in the SRT page, you have your race options where you can set up, yes, launch control. This 3-row family SUV has launch control. So if you want to take off from the lights, you can set it to a different RPM. And then while pressing the brake, you can rev up your RPM so that you can take off in a hurry. You can also adjust exactly what time you want your shift light to tell you to shift. This SUV truly is track ready. And then over here you have your drive modes, which allows you to put the vehicle into a track mode, which you can adjust your transmission, your shifters, your all-wheel drive, stability, suspension, and steering, a sport mode, an auto mode, a snow mode, a tow mode, and finally a custom mode, which you can set up all the settings exactly the way you like it. Now, I love the fact that even though this is a modern vehicle, Dodge left tactile buttons in the vehicle. You don't have to search through any menu pages just to get to your heated or cooled seats or your heated steering wheel. You can quickly turn up the fan speed without having to go into a menu. Actual tactile buttons to get directly into your SRT page, activate your launch mode, and below a wireless charging pad for your device. And the trailer brake is nestled here right below the beautiful red start button. Again, no element was passed over when redesigning the interior of these new Dodge Durangos. Now let's talk second rows, and this has got to be one of the largest second row doors I have ever seen. It opens almost to a full 90-degree, which means if you need to get a child seat or even just a child in and out of this second row SUV, you'll have no issues at all. Now, Dodge has also continued these beautiful red Laguna leather seats in the second row. They're ultra premium, they recline, and you also have quick access to your heated seats and power outlets in the second row. In this Hellcat, we've also got the Super Console, which has an armrest, illuminated cup holders, as well as a center console, which is accessible both by the second row as well as from the third row. And right up here on the roof, you will find the climate controls for the third row. This is a 3-zone climate SUV. So driver gets their own control, passenger gets theirs, and in the rear, you've got a third set mounted on the roof. Now, accessing the third row of this Dodge Durango is really quite easy. There's a little red ripcord, and with a quick tug, the seat tumbles out of the way. This provides a very large opening to the third row. The only setback would be if you had a child seat mounted onto your second row seat, you wouldn't be able to use that function, but regardless, the third row is very, very roomy and very easy to get into. Now, the third row of this Dodge Durango Hellcat is actually quite nice. I'm not the tallest of adults, but I still seem to fit it back here quite nicely. I got room for my knees, I've got room for my head, and also the seats have been emptied out underneath in what they call foot tunnels. So I can actually push my feet quite forward and I don't feel cramped back here one bit. Now, this Dodge Durango has a power tailgate, which can be opened from the key fob or from the controls above the rear view mirror. Even with the third row of seat up, there's still ample of space for groceries or even some small suitcases. And with a quick lift and push of the seat, you now are able to triple the amount of storage capacity you have in the back of your Durango. And if that still isn't enough storage for you, lift this handle to reveal another storage compartment. Now, when it comes to super unique features, I don't think there's really any one particular that stands alone. It's really that you can get this complete package that does what most families would need multiple vehicles to do all in one. I will stand by this until the day that I die, but the Dodge Durango Hellcat is actually an incredible value. Nowhere else can you get this kind of performance for the dollar. This does Ferrari-like 0 to 60 time and quarter-mile time and costs only a third as much as a Ferrari. This has got enough seatbelts inside to bring half of a basketball team, and it also has the towing capacity of a half-ton truck. If you are looking for a no-compromise option where you can do it all with one vehicle, the Dodge Durango Hellcat should certainly be on the top of your list.